This episode of the GameOverGreggy Show is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. And yes, if you've never heard me say it, ladies and gentlemen, we built the original kindafunny.com with Squarespace. And like I always say, we are dumb. Each and every one of us. Not you guys, each one of the kind of funny guys, each and every one of us. Very dumb. So if we, in a time of quitting our jobs, not knowing what we're doing, trying to tell Kevin to go back into the woods, we can't afford him. If we could build a site with Squarespace, you know you can too. So start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter the offer code KINDAFUNNY to get 10% off your first purchase. My topic, Anthony Weiner.
Good Lord.
And sending
I fucking hate that dude.
Nudes and such.
Yeah, buddy.
Whoa,
Brett Favre.
Whoa, what?
Are you not familiar with Anthony Weiner?
Is he the giraffe guy?
No.
No, he is not the giraffe guy.
Who is the giraffe guy?
He is the other Wiener that's running in San Francisco for something.
the guy. I know exactly.
Jeremy Weiner.
Something. I see a lot of his
I think
signs.
it's Matt Weiner.
No, that's the guy from Mad
Mark
Men.
Weiner.
Mark Weiner.
Mark sounds right.
How many? What?
Mark Weiner.
Why
doesn't
is he a
sound right.
giraffe guy
Mark
though? What
and
did he do? to a
On his
giraffe?
and so in San Francisco, this guy Weiner, not
Is he the
Anthony
guy
Weiner.
that fucked the McChicken sandwich?
That should have been my topic.
No,
so badly for today.
he is running for something here in the city, and one of his posters has him with a giraffe for some reason.
But it's really funny because it seems like it's really heavily targeted towards the Chinese community.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the giraffe, I don't think you're the giraffe's
Could be
not
the
a
year of the
thing.
giraffe.
I don't think it is.
There's a monkey. There's a rat. There's
There's a
giraffe.
snake. There's a dragon. I don't think the giraffe was
horse,
part of the
yeah.
Why
race.
can't the giraffe get its own year? I don't understand.
On my ride home on my new bike, first day I bought it, I rode through an ad for him. He was filming an ad where he's walking these women's groceries home.
I'm sorry. Did you willingly buy that helmet?
Yeah,
Or did
evil-
someone throw that on your head.
Evil
as you rode
Knievel
by?
helmet? Yeah, you're fucking right, I did. Top cam? Yeah, you're goddamn right I bought that helmet. That's my Evil Knievel helmet. It's
that
awesome. And then you see
Good for
you see the Wiener guy over there. It was that or a watermelon
Wiener
helmet.
guy?
So Anthony Weiner is
Not this guy.
Anthony Weiner is well. You can. It's your
The guy who
topic.
took
You
a
can explain.
picture of his wiener?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
he-
exactly. He
I
was.
can't handle this topic. There's the fucking giraffe guy
Not-
that went out, whose
not
last
the
name is
giraffe
Weiner.
guy.
There's some other guy's last name Weiner, and he's sending dick pics.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
You're gonna
So
love this
there's-
story. You're gonna love this
Oh,
story.
it's a great
Yeah.
story.
He was a congressman from the great
New
state
York.
of New York.
Yeah.
The disgrace.
And it doesn't. It's not even that he sent a dick pic to start all this off, Tim. What he did was tweet from his own account a dick pic.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This was in like 2011.
Yeah.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Then everybody was trying to get him to step down. It just came out that he'd been sending these things, that he's married, that she's pregnant with his kid.
He's married to the closest confidant and aide of Hillary Clinton.
Now- and now-
which is where it gets like really or Aben Huma or something.
Huma.
Yeah, Huma Aben. That's why I'm getting.
Yeah,
I'm getting
yeah.
the name back. Huma Aben. Yeah, like a very close confidant and like advisor to Hillary Clinton. That's why
And
it's relevant.
Now they've separated.
Right.
So, anyways, this happens though. Everybody tells him to step down. He doesn't step down. Then he finally like, all right, I'll step down. Steps down. Right. Then he comes back and he's going to run for mayor of New York. There's this great documentary called Weiner.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I watched it.
Phenomenal.
I watched it Saturday, finished it Sunday because I got tired in the middle of it.
Sleepy.
You really just say that.
It's what?
We're old men.
It was 12:30 at night. I was tired. I wasn't enjoying it as much anymore. Wiener is the documentary.
long.
You should pick
It
it
was
up
a
on
long
Amazon.
documentary.
Yes, it was a long.
Yeah.
It was a long documentary.
Wasn't that long.
It was
a little skinny.
Hour and a half. So the documentary
Saying it's a little-
is following him through his mayoral campaign here in New York.
The comeback.
Yeah, exactly. He turns
Or so he thought.
he turns the corner. He starts winning the polls. Wiener's pulling out in front. They say it's going real well for him.
That's what I heard.
There are a lot of good New York Post headlines you should look into, right?
Yeah.
They're the best.
And then more photos surfaced that he had sent this Las Vegas cocktail girl or
Now,
whatever.
wasn't he? Didn't he have an online persona on some sort of
Carlos Danger.
That's
Right.
right.
He was going by the name Carlos Danger, where he
Yes.
was sharing nudes
Got it.
or in
Got it.
photos and his abs and his dick and all this
Now,
stuff.
Tim,
with
you might
people.
be asking yourself, what's bad about this?
Yeah.
As I was too. I was like, I don't understand why this guy's not a national hero. This is hilarious, except for the fact that he's married.
married and has a kid. Like,
Has
when they
a-
first
Well, that's
dropped,
where the
right,
danger comes in.
he had been married less than a year, or about a year, I think, to Huma. Bill Clinton, by the way, officiated their wedding. So
This is fucking real
Like,
life.
you really want to fuck this up,
By the way,
right?
not that it matters because taking the interpersonal relationship, she's a phenomenal person. Like she comes off as a very,
she
very
seems real
nice,
nice, yeah.
very, very cool person.
Except, and then in the documentary, of
Not
course,
that it
you see
matters.
her dreams, and because like she's pregnant when these initial pics come out, and it's a huge disgrace, and he leaves Congress, right? She stays with him. Then this mayoral campaign kicks up. She's doing the campaign stops. Everything's going really well. Then more images come out. And they have this horrible scene, but it's a great scene for us from this documentary, of him trying to, as soon as it happened, he's on the phone trying to spin it to his person or whatever, and she's on the phone listening in or whatever. And like, it's the realization that this is happening again, and that he was doing this when they said they were, blah, blah, blah. And like, she's like pacing, and you can see her start to lose it, and they all have to leave the room and stuff. It's really intense because you see this guy, this dirtbag, treat her like fucking trash over and over again.
Carlos Danger. Yeah.
Carlos Danger treating her like trash or whatever. And it sucked because in the movie, I'm watching him do it, and I'm like, oh, he's one of these politicians I don't mind. He's shooting straight, doing this. Had that great 9/11 speech on the floor. That was cool, right? Give him that before we knew what was happening.
He's always been a piece of shit, but yeah, okay.
But he's like doing things, you're like, all right, cool, he's going to shoot from the hip. And then he's like, oh, he's going to still fuck this up. If I'm lying, he loses the mayoral campaign, Tim.
Okay.
He
If
drops
I'm
out of it,
lying, no, he doesn't.
Oh, did he lose?
No,
it?
he just fucking straight up loses. Just destroyed. Not even like close. He went from being in front to, I think he is the last place candidate in one of the things. She stays with him. They have this kid. It's going to keep going. She then goes and runs Hillary's campaign. She's, second in command or whatever. I finished this documentary on Sunday because I got tired. No big deal. There's no shame in that,
Sleepy
Tim.
bear. He's
Sometimes
a
I need to
sleepy
go to
bear.
bed. Thank you, Nick, for having my back. Sunday night, Kismet intervenes. News breaks that this has happened again. This motherfucker has been sending more nudes into this.
Is it still under Carlos Danger?
No, this he's just using his Twitter, or maybe
No,
it was Facebook. I forget.
his
at this point.
Twitter.
It was Twitter.
It was Twitter. Yeah, because he deleted his Twitter afterwards. He's DMing people. He's DMing.
you
this
listen
girl,
to Colin.
sliding them DMs.
Delete your Twitter.
Now, what happens, Tim, is that he's still sending these junk photos, right? He sends one that looks a lot like the original, because the original was just him that broke. The one he tweeted, right, was just, I believe it was he was in the gray shorts then, or in the white shorts now?
Yeah, I think it
gray
was
shorts then
ones.
with his dick all to the side or whatever. They accidentally tweeted and then deleted. And
Hard as a
I can
fucking
picture this
diamond in an
picture
ice
way
storm.
too clearly in my head.
And
right
then he
has a big
sends
dick.
this pretty much the
does.
same photo in white undies to this girl, and the problem is his toddler son is in the background sleeping next to him. That's in Huma out there. No, it doesn't. Huma out there on the campaign trail with one Hillary Rodham Clinton, the next president of the United States.
My thing about this whole thing is obviously he's got some issues, but I think this would make a phenomenal film starring Pauly Shore as Weiner.
No, he does. Pauly Shore would be a great.
How fucking
Anthony
awesome
Weiner.
would that be? Because this story is it's unbelievable. It's so unbelievable that that the fact that it's true blows my fucking mind.
Right.
And the fact
and that
that
was the whole thing.
this is something, if I were a writer to sit down and be like, this is a great story that I'm going to tell, no way would this ever happen in real life, except that it did. Like, no fucking way does a guy get a second chance like that and then just does the exact same thing to firebomb his life. I mean, he was going to win. People loved him. He comes off as a genuinely like,
Hey, I fucked up.
I fucked up. I'm a person. He came off as very, very genuine, very, very like man of the people.
I have 63 ideas to change New York City.
It's
was, one of the
crazy.
things
Like
he was
riding his
running
bike
saying.
around, people are screaming at him. It's this beautiful moment in this documentary. You're like, wow, man, this guy's, except you know how it ends.
Yeah.
You can see the end of it.
You can see the end of Weiner before you ever get to it.
But I mean, the happiness the documentarian must have felt, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the crazy thing is
The
I heard
joy,
it-
just containing as hard as you can. It's like, don't smile. Whatever
Yeah.
you do.
I
He's
got-
like, just
I
act
got it.
concerned.
No, they had been friends because I think if I'm not mistaken, I heard an interview with him when this whole thing, when the documentary was making the rounds, and I think he was, on his prior campaign, and then decided to quit politics and become a documentarian, and that's how he got in. Like he was like, oh, we're gonna do this. So they were friends, and he was like, even as his friend, I couldn't believe that he was allowing me that kind of access. Because if you notice, when the calls start coming through, he doesn't tell him to get out of the room.
Yeah.
There's 3 people in that room when the realization's setting in, and it's not recreated. This is a real moment. It's her, it's him, and the guy holding the camera.
Right.
And I think, and they even ask him in the documentary, like,
Why
why did you let me do
this?
this? And
Yeah.
he's like, I think the answer he gives, the subtext of the answer that he gives is that I think in the back of his mind, he thought in some way, or thinks in some way, that all press is good press. That no matter what happens, as long as people are talking about him, there's a power and something positive that can come out of that as far as like him furthering his career as a personality.
My
Or as a
interpretation of it too,
public
I
figure.
think, is the fact that he knew those photos were going to come out, right? He knew there was more photos out there. They talk about it at some point where he's like, we knew this might happen or whatever, blah blah. And like it's the timing, like they're sent during the separation period. It's after he's been caught or whatever. This already happened with the Congress, the part of it. I think there's part of him that is like, let's do this documentary. Let's run for mayor. Best case scenario, I win and I'm the mayor of New York and we have a documentary chronicling my rise. Or worst case scenario, we have this big moment of drama that happens in it or whatever. And it does set me up as a personality because that's the end of the documentary, right? It's like the cut of him on Bill Maher and a million other things and cracking wise about it and doing all these different, like, okay, like blah, blah, blah.
It's okay.
I mean, for
it
him,
happened
I think
again.
So
recently.
Yeah, this week it broke. And now Hume is finally out. She's like, I'm done. Separated.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
See, I mean, this kind of. Did we have a topic about this? About
Anthony Weiner?
no
Wieners?
Yeah, we talked about Gawker. It's similar to the topic about that, right? Where it was like, when does it become news? Now that he's not a public figure, and now that he's just, I guess I think he's a lobbyist.
No, what he is
or
now.
maybe he's a pundit
Just
of
a
some
dude
sort.
I think he's just a
dick pics
pundit.
now.
That's the thing. If he's still
Now
on
he's
TV,
just one of us.
Is this
Now
still
he actually
news?
stopped,
Like,
which is the
yeah, I mean,
funny thing.
that's my thing now. Now that he's no longer a politician, he's no longer in the public sphere. When does it become like not newsworthy to talk about someone just sending dick pics to someone?
Yeah, but I mean, like, is it always going to be newsworthy
Because of his history? Probably.
Yeah.
He's
Probably. I
a
mean, it's always
public
gonna make
figure
headlines.
permanently, right?
His wife is still like.
Exactly.
She is also a public
She-
figure.
I mean, but
that's true.
she's behind the scenes, right? She's
Yeah, I
not
guess
like
you're right.
She's a
making
power
speeches. Yeah.
Well, and if she's trying to separate from him too,
Well, now, no, because of this. She's,
Yeah, no, exactly,
Okay.
though, but
I mean,
I
she's
see
But
what
is
you're
like,
he
give
going
her
to
the
keep sending
8
dick
to 12
pics now that
inches.
he's separated? Was that like
Yes,
the whole?
he has to, right?
But I don't
Once
know.
you
Was that the
start,
whole
you can't
point, though?
stop.
I think
Was that
he
the
just
whole
really
drive, the
likes
whole like fascination? With
I think
him?
the
And
whole
he's
thing
like,
is-
I can get away with this, and I can be mayor.
But he
and I can have a
knows he
family.
can't get away
I'm
with
the
it.
best.
He's got to be addicted to it, right?
God, the
That's
worst.
got to be the thing.
But
The
I think
worst is
being
when-
married is part of the addiction.
I mean, this is how horrible this. Have you seen this documentary?
I have not, but
You should.
I've gone
it's
to it
amazing. I
immediately.
think it's on Netflix, right?
No, I bought
Well,
it off Amazon. I rented it off
It might
Amazon.
not be on Netflix yet. It's definitely worth the $5.99 or how
Yeah.
much it is. It's actually, for one, it's a phenomenally well made documentary, and it does what I think every documentary should do, which is it really has a perspective, and it shows you these characters in as real light as you possibly could. I don't think that it doesn't. He doesn't do a lot of commentary in it as far as like, this guy's a fucking terrible person. He's
Oh,
just
no,
like,
no,
I'm going to
that's
show
not-
you
yeah,
this
yeah.
person, good and bad. And there's moments where you're like, the guy's not that bad. He just has an addiction to his dick. You know, he just
Getting
has an
into these
addiction
things.
to doing these things
Sexting.
that's ruining his life.
And
Like,
that's
if
the
that
other
had
thing,
been
too, is, like-
alcohol, we'd be like, oh, he's an alcoholic. I get that. Or the mayor of, what was it? Was it the mayor or the governor of like Detroit?
Oh,
It was-
Toronto?
Toronto. Someone was doing crack.
Rob Ford.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, and then like they're like,
Rest
he's
in
like,
peace.
I just love crack.
Did he really?
And then they,
Yeah.
Boy, I didn't miss that headline. Wow.
Or there was the guy that was caught with a prostitute doing crack too. It was like another mayor, and they
Oh,
were
in
like,
Washington, D.C.
Willie, what?
Willie.
Yeah, no, that was
Whatever
the
his
mayor
last
of
name.
D.C.
Yeah.
not Willie Brown.
Yeah, I know exactly. Who you're
Anyway,
talking
those
about.
guys. I mean, for some reason, those guys all got reelected, right? Didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't that guy get reelected?
He did in D.C.
So we do have a fascination, and I think that's what this documentary does, is like telling that human condition of like, this person has fallen from grace and now they're climbing back, and we can forgive, even though I don't believe we should be really necessarily forgiving our public figures for smoking crack with prostitutes or cheating on their wives, but because they're supposed to be the best of us, even though everyone fucking knows they're not, and I don't know why we even ever come close to assuming that ever. But I think the documentary does a great job of painting him in both lights. Is what I'm trying to say. So it's definitely worth the watch. It's beautifully filmed. The craziest part of it, though, is when the girl that he sent the pictures to starts trying to confront him with a full media barrage behind her. And you're like, oh my God, this went from one horrible human being to just a whole cast of horrible human beings trying to capitalize off of this fucking thing that this one guy did. And even he's trying to capitalize. Even toward the end, he's like, how do we spin this? I think we can spin this. And they're on the phone with his political advisor, and the guy's like, the guy's running his campaign. He's like, dude, we can't. Like, this is it. We're done, man. You got to just give up. You got to give up. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's interesting.
She's a porn star,
So
by the way, now.
Anthony Weiner's an interesting case for me because I was talking to Greg about it earlier. There are 3 Democratic politicians who I fucking loathe. I loathe them, and Anthony Weiner is one of them. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is one of them, and Alan Grayson is the other one. And the reason I loathe all 3 of them is because they like dehumanize. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen on the other side. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is like they've dehumanized the opponents, and they just talked so much shit, and they've all unraveled for their own way, and it's been a fucking pleasure, frankly, to watch. Anthony Weiner is the reason that Anthony Weiner does he got his comeuppance not because of his politics. And this is the thing I'm surprised you guys aren't bringing up, is that when the first thing happened, he fucking lied forever about it.
He said he got hacked. Yeah.
Like for he's like, oh, I think I got hacked. They can't explain it. And I remember watching it MSNBC that night, And when they were talking about it, I'm like, and he gave like a like a guerrilla kind of candid interview where he's like, you gotta get off Capitol Hill and go on these shows. And I was like, you're full of shit. We all know you're full of shit. You're fucking lying. We all know you're lying. Everyone knows. And this went on for, not forever, but for politics it is. I mean, 3-4 cycles. Like at that point, I lost all respect for him. He lost to Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio is a nut job. That tells you all you need. It wasn't like we had the best of the best running for mayor in New York City. And we never have. But I don't know if you know that.
What about Big Giuliani?
I love Giuliani, but I mean, we've had some fucking characters as mayor.
Ed Koch.
Like Bloomberg, who's a billionaire who just changed the rules when he was in there so he could run for a third term. And everyone's like, I guess so. That's fine. Sure, why not? You're Bloomberg. So I don't like to take necessarily pleasure in most of the downfall or like the bad shit that happens to people, because bad shit happens to all of us. But like someone like him, it's like the second, third time, it's like you're an asshole and you fucking deserve everything that's coming to you. You didn't learn anything. You have a beautiful, smart wife. You have a child. You have this family life. You were given a second chance.
Yeah.
And even a third chance, and you fucked it up. So fuck you. That's the way I feel. Is like there are people in prison for non-violent drug offenses that would kill for a second chance. That would kill the Anthony, Weiner and be an ex-congressman that gets the benefit of the doubt, and they don't get it. He got the benefit of the doubt twice. So good fucking riddance.
Great point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I think also there's a side of it where I think this is a classic addiction problem, right? He is addicted to whatever this thing is. Whatever this is giving, whatever a hit of dopamine his brain receives when he sends one of these pictures out, there's something there. Similar to how I would imagine people have a gambling addiction, right? There's a psychological problem that he has that I just wish, my one takeaway was looking at him, I'm like, I wish I were this guy's friend so I could sit him down and be like, you need help. You have everything. And you are purposely throwing that away. It's like a guy who gets a check for $50,000 and the first thing he thinks about doing is going to a casino. Right? It's the exact same thing in my brain, which is like, that sucks. But that is something that could hopefully be corrected if you're willing to do that. This guy, looking at his life, it looked almost perfect, right? Some people, I don't know. To me, it's just
That's
sad.
always the thing, though, of like the look of it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but
I'm not justifying it. Don't get me wrong,
no.
but clearly, like, his marriage hadn't been working from the get-go, you'd assume, right? And
No,
again,
I
this
don't-
isn't justifying sexting randos. He never cheated, right? It was always just this internet
That we
exchange.
know of.
met.
Yeah, he never got caught.
They would have come out. They would have come out by
That
now.
is cheating. Though.
I know, but I'm just saying physical. I'm just trying to lay out.
Yeah, I understand that. But I mean, to me, I don't know. This guy's downfall. It's like incredible. It's an incredible thing to watch. Like it is a spectacle. I agree. You do feel bad about it in a way, because who wants to watch? It's almost cringeworthy when you're like, I have to watch this personal destruction.
Self-destruct, yeah.
We did talk about it in the Gawker topic. To your point, the only difference there is that Anthony, and this is what I said, it was one of the caveats, is Anthony Weiner is a political figure.
Yep.
He's
Fair game.
and I agree. Like that is fair game. Like that's fair game, because you are representing us. He is literally a representative from New York
Yep.
City. Like there's a few million people that are like, he's the guy in front of them. And so if he's fucking up, then that's fair game. It's different than the Condé Nast guy. It's different than Hulk Hogan. It's
I agree.
yeah, that's the bad thing. You're right, though. Like, he did really have it all. And it's not just about his wife being smart and beautiful. It's about his connections to the Clintons. It's about all these things. Like, you
Right.
are a moron. You are a fucking moron. I mean, that's the biggest thing. They are supposed to be the smartest and brightest of us. And I'm like, you could have written, you would have been in the White House in 2 seconds.
Could have
And
been.
I'm not saying in terms of president. I'm saying, like, you could work in the West Wing. You could have worked in the Naval Observatory with the vice president. You could have been
Could have done a lot of
something.
things.
And gotten back in the House, because God knows New York City sends fucking lunatics to the House of Representatives every 2 years, right? So there's no reason why you couldn't have gone there. You could have run for this. Look at our senators now in New York City, and I say ours because I'll always be a New Yorker. But like, that's the thing that frustrates me the most, is that like he didn't have like a lot or anything. He really did have it all, like all of it, everything, and he threw it away, and it's sad.
Tim, are dick pics okay?
I mean, consensual dick pics, I think that's the start of that. If somebody's asking for it, or you have a relationship with them that's acceptable, then yes. Otherwise, absolutely not. In no way, shape, or form. So, I mean, it sounds like these are non-consensual.
No, these were consensual.
Oh.
He was having sexting relationships
Yeah.
with these girls.
Girls,
That's
you would, like,
absolutely
find
fine.
girls on Facebook
When
and stuff.
you are married, absolutely not. I mean,
Is
if
it
unless
also
it's
the
your wife.
cautionary tale of like, you just can't trust? He thought he was in trusting, cheating online relationships where like the dick pic wouldn't go any further than that.
That's
No, the moment you put it out there,
Yeah.
like, you need to be able
Well,
to
and
own
not necessarily
up
if you're married, but if you're married and your wife doesn't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, no matter what, my belief, and it always has been when it comes to dick pics or any of that stuff, is never put something out there that you're not okay everybody seeing. Because there is that chance of that happening. The moment that you take a picture on your phone, it exists. Whether or not you upload it to the internet, you did that, and that you need to live with it. Your phone could get hacked. There's so much things that could happen with this machine that you decided to do that with.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to be okay with it. So make sure you're checking your angles at all times.
Can't
Good
wait.
angles.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing too. That's why President Obama can't use an iPhone. He's not allowed to use an iPhone or an Android device. He has to use a BlackBerry.
Aren't they worried about
Because they're worried about the
being able to hack it,
microphone. They're
right?
worried about all this kind of stuff. Like he's not allowed because like of all these things that could possibly happen. What I wonder is, you have to have some sort of. There's like 530 House representatives and senators, right? Like if you're one of those people. And that person on the other end knows that you're one of those people, it's over for you. What's happening? What?
No,
No, you
sorry.
said
my first thought, like you say that, I was like, all right, so then how does Obama take his dick pics? I guess he could use like a disposable camera, and that'd be weird. Though.
No, Tim and I always have the moment when you and Nick have adult conversations, but you're like, there's 537, right? And me and Tim just made eye contact. We don't fucking know. You could have been like, there's 4,000. We're like, that seems like a lot.
That sounds right.
To me, that you have to
10
be
from each state.
To me, you just have to be cognizant that you're in that situation. You're going to be blackmailed, and like
It's true.
and like in some way, in some shape or form, you're going to be blackmailed.
Yeah.
I mean-
and that's why. I mean, that's why like everyone's always like, if you just take it to the nth degree, the Obama girls don't have Secret Service agents because they're afraid they're going to get assassinated. They're afraid they're going to get kidnapped and ransomed, and Obama's going to get blackmailed to get his kids back. That's why they're protected.
Like the West
Like
Wing.
you don't like you. Yeah, exactly. So like. It goes beyond that. It's like these people have state secrets. These people have like all these things. Like you have to be smart, and so it goes beyond the dick pics. It's the funny thing. But the thing is that this guy can't be trusted with anything. That's what we saw. That's why he should have never been given a second chance. That's why when I thought he was running for mayor, I thought it was a joke. I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, like Bill de Blasio and these other guys that are running, but Anthony Weiner is like shouldn't be trusted with anything, especially the most important city in our country. Like
Des Moines?
Well, that's why I think in a weird way we kind of need Wiener. Like we kind of
we all need Wiener.
You know what I mean? Like, on a lonely, cold evening. But like we need somebody like this to make this gigantic mistake. So we all like that's the thing. We brought up the name and we were like, yeah, we think we know who that is. Like we better know who this is. We better remember this.
I wonder if people will learn from it
forget.
though, or if other politicians will learn from it. Because I feel like if you're that unmoored, right, where you can't figure out
it's not
that
going to
this is
take
a
one
stupid
Anthony
idea.
Weiner,
Yeah.
but
I know,
it's
but
unfortunately going to take a bunch.
It is the real sad part of it is it's a slippery slope and things like this, like what Nick was talking about. It's an addiction, and like people don't realize unless it's cigarettes or drugs that addictions can be anything.
Yep.
And people can be addicted to porn. They can be addicted to sex. They can be addicted to these feelings you have, and being addicted to craving attention sexually in this new age, and like that is totally thing, and that I think is the part that gets hard because these are people,
long and
like
hard.
these are just people,
They are
and
just
it's
people,
like
yeah,
that's the hardest thing is like it doesn't matter that they're politicians or whatever. It matters in the way that like they need to be extra careful of what they say and do, but at the end of the day, they're just like
but I
us.
think it's more than that. See, like that I think creates a culture of lying. It's just like, well, I got to be really careful, so I got to spin this story. And it's like
Right.
you have to be you.
Oh, no,
you
no,
have
no.
to come out and say,
I'm saying before.
this is who I am. Yeah.
I'm saying you got to be careful. You don't do it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. You have to be extra careful not to do it because you are being put under a microscope.
But
But I think
yeah.
that that's just holding you to being a better person. It's not saying that if you're not a politician that you should do these things. It's just saying that like you are accepting that responsibility on a whole other level.
Or we have to call a spade, right? And at this point, just realize that this stupid, outdated ideal that our politicians and our celebrities have to be perfect is just, it doesn't work anymore, right? And that's what, every time I see something like this, I'm like, this is just another example that the world, technology is evolving the world faster than we can wrap our heads around, and then faster than we can accept, right? Is that, guess what? Yes, everyone is a sexual being. Everyone does this stuff. Everyone, guys cheat on their wives. Women cheat on their husbands. Like this stuff happens, right? It doesn't make a person terrible, but the fact of the matter is, we still have this puritanical idea that when we elect someone to office, they have to be a perfect human being, or a sports star, or a person who's a quarterback, or Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods has to be, because he's so good at this thing that he has to be perfect. And it's like, no, that's stupid. That's not telling anyone anything that of any merit or value, right? Because no one's perfect. These are just real human beings that are accomplishing these things. I don't understand why we still ascribe to this ideal that politicians are all good, wholesome people. I don't understand that. There's so much evidence to the contrary. Why can't we just rejigger the way we think of people that are supposed to be going and representing us.
I think the major screw up was that when he got that second chance, to me, again, it's not like, okay, how do I be a good politician now? It's like you need to take a long, hard look at yourself.
Right.
And you need to
Right.
exactly.
Amen.
And you need to be firm, and you need to and
Be
really
throbbing.
address the issue and really honest and frankly be uncomfortable. You know,
You
it's
gotta
like
be really
I think
comfortable with
we
the
need
friction.
to see you admit this, you know, and like I think that's I think I think it's less about how anything his political advisor could have done or anything his family could have helped him with. Like he really needed to probably just back out of politics altogether for a good amount of time and just kind of look in the mirror and be like, okay, why am I doing this? Like I have all this stuff and yet it's not really what I want to do. Like this,
I just want to send dick pics.
Taking pictures of my dicks is very, very important to me.
Yeah. And there's a market for that. There's a market for anything on Patreon.